you frequently hear people say in debates today that baptizo means immerse,
Oh, right. Yeah.
right? And let me just say this, it manifestly does not, right?
Right.
And there are a multitude of texts, both canonical and outside of the canon of Scripture, that demonstrate baptizo does not mean immerse,
Yeah.
right? And Wesley makes the case from Greek biblical texts here, right? So you've got
Yeah.
in Mark 7 the language of washing, the you got people who wash their hands as a part of a religious
Yep.
ritual before they eat, right? The word there is baptizo. It's the baptism, one of the cognates, and and again, you've got other biblical texts outside where like their baptism is here. Baptism, this is just a thing for me, so I'm going to say it. Baptism, the Greek word baptizo means it's the use of water in a religious washing ritual, and
Yep.
it could happen through a variety of modes. There are Greek or there are Jewish texts that talk about sofas being baptized, right? Pretty sure they didn't plunge that
Right.
under the
Yeah.
water, right?
Yeah.
It's that's not what's going on here. This is
Yeah.
so you baptism could be dipping. We've got pools in all architects have found these Jewish ritual dipping pools where people appear to have gotten in and gone under the water. Yes,
Mm.
but the term itself, the semantic range includes different kinds of modes of washing of people and things, right?
Yeah.
So it's let's just be clear about the data in relation to the semantic range and how this word is used. And
Yeah.
what really entertains me on this, when I laughed out loud when I read this, is when he said sprinkling is really a better image of burial because nobody gets plunged through the dirt.
Right. Right.
Like
Yeah.
instead, we dig a hole. Nobody like just gets shoved through the dirt, right?
Yeah.
We sprinkle dirt on top of a coffin in a hole.
Yeah.
That's what, so sprinkling water is more like sprinkling dirt because nobody just
Yeah.
gets smashed into the
Smashed it.
dirt.
Yeah. So true. So much of his snark comes out here, that like beautiful
He's
Wesleyan
funny.
snark that's like subtle but
Yeah.
awesome. So like that, or when he's talking about Philip and the Ethiopian eunuch, he says they went down into the water, but that was like they were at the chariot. They had to go down to the
Yeah.
water. We don't know how deep it was. It could have been to their waist. It could have been to their
Yeah.
knees. Maybe it was only at their ankles.
Yeah. I want to say, I can't remember if I read that maybe too, in maybe the notes in Mark on Jesus's baptism. Like
Oh yeah.
I think he has made that point in multiple places, but don't quote me on that. That he's saying like, when it talks about, he says the folks who argue that it must have been immersion because they went down into the water, he basically is saying you're reading your assumptions into the text
Right. Yeah.
because it doesn't say that. It
Yeah.
doesn't say that he went down under the water. It
Right.
could very well mean they climbed down the bank of the Jordan River into the
Yeah.
water
Right.
and
Because it was
then
so
did a
low.
ritual
Yeah.
washing
Yeah.
there standing
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And he says he's like, and in Acts he's like, you got thousands of people being baptized. Do you really think there's enough water for all of them to go
Yep.
under? You know,
Yep.
so
Exactly.
he really is a bit aggressive on some of these things.
Yeah. Yeah. So interesting. Yeah. And I was thinking that one too, where he says that in Acts is that, the disciples are baptizing thousands of people. Like, do you think that there was that much water or that they could have like taken time just to do it this way all the time? It's like, no, it was probably,
Like some sort of like, let's just sling some water on some
right.
people or something,
Yeah.
right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think
Yeah.
it's I find if to listeners, if you haven't read the treatise, it's humorous and he gets a little
Mm,
snarky. He kind of has some fun. He gets a little aggressive. So
yeah.
it's really an interesting, helpful way to come at it. So
It is.